Hi everybody, welcome to another George Crafts video. This is a tutorial video and today I am going to show you how I do some of the basic crochet stitches. So just to begin with, I have a 5mm hook and some scraps of chunky yarn just left over from some other projects that I've been doing, which I haven't thrown away because crafters don't throw anything away, which is why we have no space in our houses, because it's just full of craft supplies. So first thing you do in your crochet project is start by making a slip knot. There's lots of different ways of doing this with crochet hook, etc. That's just way too complicated for me. I don't do complicated, I like my craft to be easy. So you do, or the way I do it, take my yarn, wrap it around my finger and make a cross, hold on to where the cross is, put my yarn through the loop and pull it tight. So I'll show you that again. Wrap my yarn around my finger, making a cross, just here, and then hold on to the cross and take my finger out. So I've got a loop, take the tail end of my yarn and pull it through. So it's nice and easy. Then pop my hook through my loop, pull my tail, make it nice and tight. Easy peasy. So the first stitch I'm going to show you is the chain stitch. When you are making a piece of crochet, unless you're making in the round, which is something different, you will start with what is called a foundation chain. It's just a row of chain stitches, however long you need for your project. So before you make your stitch, you need to pick up your yarn, and that means I have to show you how to hold the yarn. Again, several different ways to do this. The way I do is the most conventional way. You hold it however's easiest for you, but this is the way most people will teach you. So take your little finger, put it underneath your yarn, wrap the yarn around your finger, place your index finger on top of it, and then just hold your yarn between your thumb and your finger. Moving this finger in and out will allow you to make your yarn tight or not tight. Okay, so I'll show you that again. So yarn over your little finger, wrap the yarn around, put your index finger on top of the yarn, hold your yarn between your thumb and your finger. Okay, nice and simple. So then what I do is just hold my work while I'm working my stitches. Obviously there isn't any work here yet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the chain stitch now. So you hold on to your work, just wrap your yarn around your hook and bring it through that loop you made with the knot. So I'll show you again. Wrap your yarn around, bring your yarn through your loop. Easier said than done. There we go. Wrap and through the loop. Wrap and through the loop. Wrap and through the loop. So here I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to make this up to 11 chains now. 11 chain stitches. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and I'll show you again on my last one a bit slower. Yarn around and through the loop. Okay, so now I have 11 stitches in my chain. What I'm going to do in a moment is show you how to do double crochet stitches. So we'll be going back the other way, and the aim is to get rows of 10 double crochet stitches. Now remember, I said I've made 11 stitches in my chain. The reason for that is that my 11th chain stitch is my turning chain. So that basically means we fold the chain back on itself and then we begin stitching in the chains along the bottom. All will become clear, I promise. So before we do that, I just want to show you, this is what your crochet will look like for most of the time when you're working. So usually you're going to put your hook through the loop and you're going to have two parts to the loop. But just for the first time, when you make your stitches in your foundation chain only, can you see these little, almost like little humps or ridges all along the middle? These are the loops we're going to work with just on the foundation chain, okay? So I'm going to pick up my yarn, and to do a double crochet, first, to finish your turning chain, you count backwards, so 1, 2 from your hook, and you start working in the second chain from the hook. So to make a double crochet, take your hook, put it through that chain, there we go, get that out of the way, yarn around the hook and back through, and then you're going to join those together. So that's your double crochet. Yarn, hook through, grab hold of your yarn and pull it here, sorry about that, that's my phone, and bring it back. So hook through, through here, bring your yarn back and bring the two together, and just keep going through to make your two loops on your hook. And bring them together until you get to the end, okay? So just keep going, and I'm just going to get to the end, and when I get to the end, before I do the last one, I'll go slowly again, just so you can see one last time what I did. So just keep going. And here, and then I'll count them and see if we've got the right number by the time I get to the end. It's easier to make your stitches after you've finished your foundation chain. It's not quite as fiddly to get your hook through. So there we are. So just two left. So in, she says, in, yarn through the loop and join together. Last one, this is going to be the most fiddly one because it's near my slip knot. In we go, back we come, bring my yarn through my two loops. So let's see how many we've got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And remember, we started with the 11 chains, okay? So we're going to turn the work now, and what we're going to do is we're just going to do one chain stitch, and then we're going to go back through this stitch now, so you can see how it looks different along the top than it did when we were working on the foundation chain. That means things are going to be a bit easier for us to get our hook through. So take our hook, place it through the work. She says it's easier. Usually it is. Okay. What am I doing? Right. Start again. Take my hook, through the work. Don't know what's going on downstairs. And back. So hook through that one, back, round, hook through, round, and join the 2 loops together. So we're building up our rows of double crochets here, and can you see how I'm getting the hook through those loops on the top a lot easier now than I was with the foundation chain, because it's just a little bit easier, the gap's a little bit larger, and it's just altogether less fiddly. So I'm going to just carry on doing my double crochets because there's something else I want to show you in just a moment, okay? So, and that's how to cope with things when you run out of yarn or when you want to change colour, because the technique is the same for both of those things. So just finish off a couple more of these before we get to the end. Whoops. There we go. And this one, this one, and this will be number 10. So just remember, in, grab your yarn, pull it through the work, and join your 2 loops together. There we go. So let's just have a count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we do our turning chain, so we do 1 and then we have our work again. So let's keep going. In, out, join 2 together. In, out, join 2 together. In, out, join 2 together. Okay, so in, out, join 2 together. In, out, join 2 together. In, out, join 2 together. In, out, shake it all about. Don't, you'll lose your place. In, out, 2 together, and in, out, 2 together, in, out, 2 together. Turning chain, turn the work, and go again. In, and 2 together. So I'm nearly at the end of my yarn. I could go a little bit more, but I want to show you this demonstration of how to add on your next piece, or a different colour, it's up to you. So another scrap of the same yarn, okay, but like I said, you can add on whatever yarn you want really. You don't have to stick to one colour. I mean, one colour, it's okay. 2 colours better, right? So get the end of your new piece ready, and then what we're going to do is we're going to start our next stitch. So we put our hook through the work as normal, and so this is where it gets difficult when you run out of yarn, and you pull your hook through with the yarn on it. You've now got 2 loops on your hook. Okay, keep hold of this piece, take your new piece, make a little loop and hold on to it with your finger, and then pull your new piece of yarn through the 2 loops that are on your hook, like you would be finishing your stitch. And then just pull your 2 tails together nice and tight, and I just want you to carry on crocheting like you were before. Okay, So what we're going to do with these tails is hide them in our work so you don't see them, so they don't unravel, and so you don't need any nasty knots and untidiness. Okay, so like before, put your hook through your work and make sure your tails get trapped as you pull your yarn towards you through your work, and then pull your hook through so you've got your 2 stitches together. Again, hook through, yarn, bring it back, yarn, through the 2 stitches, or the 2 loops, sorry. Again, hook through, and back, and close your 2 loops together. And you can see I'm starting to cover up my loose ends here, so you don't have to worry about sewing them in, which is always a nightmare anyway, because you spend all your time doing your lovely crochet stitches with your beautiful yarn, and then you go, ugh, I've finished, now I need to sew my ends in. And if you're anything like me, your hand sewing is not awesome, and it just looks a bit messy, and it ruins the project that you've been working on so hard and so lovingly, so you just get a bit disappointed. Now, here I am on my last double crochet of this row, and I'm going to put my hook through and make sure my tails are inside my work. Bring my hook back with some yarn, so I've got my 2 loops and 2 together. Now obviously these tails are a little bit longer than my work, but can you see how nothing is showing? And if I was worried, I could take my scissors, and what I like to do is just pull my tails a little bit so my work starts to scrunch itself up. Can you see? So if I pull them really, really tight, they will, you see how that screws up? I don't want to pull it that tight, but I just wanted to show you. So you can always stretch it back. There we go. So pull your tails just slightly so your work starts to curl up at the end. And then take your scissors and just snip as close to the crochet as you can. Make sure you cut the right one, don't cut off your brand new yarn because that will annoy you. And then I'm just going to make this loop a little longer so it doesn't unravel. There we go. All you do is just pull it and carry on crocheting. Good as new. You'd never know that that was 2 pieces of yarn joined together. Okay, so what we've covered, we've done a foundation chain, turning chain, rows of double crochet, joining in a new piece of yarn, which is the same technique you can use for joining in new colours. I hope that was useful. If you want to see anything in particular, either write it in the comments underneath this video or get in touch with me at georgecrafts.co.uk, where you can find more tutorials for all different kinds of crafts, not just crochet, tutorials, projects, reviews, and there's a little community page there as well. Sometimes there's going to be a few competitions coming up, so any questions, any queries, anything you want to see, get in touch with me, and I'll see you again soon. Okay, bye.